Hi guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's in tonight's video, I will be doing my episode review for the latest episode of AMC's Fear the Walking Dead, which just dropped just a few minutes ago. I just finished watching it, and it was a really interesting episode. And before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled episode review. Again, if you have not seen the latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead, or if you're behind by a few episodes and you need to catch up, do not keep watching or listening to this video, as I will be discussing major plot details and spoilers. So, you have been warned. That being said, let's jump right into it. I was excited about this episode because I was suspicious based on last week's promo. It was going to introduce two new characters who I have been dying to see ever since the Comic-Con trailer from about a month ago, when we saw this what appeared to be a woman trucker and then a wheelchaired bound man as well, like the two of them as like some goofy oddball pair of friends like on the road trying to survive the apocalypse, and then they clearly encounter Morgan and several other characters, and that's all revealed in the trailer from Comic-Con for Fear the Walking Dead second half. So I was immediately excited by this, and this is the episode where we finally met them, and it didn't quite pan out the way I thought it would. Initially, I thought they would be more allies or friends rather than hostile-like and enemies, because they seemed more than willing to leave Morgan out there to die, and they didn't go back from it all. I must say I was very surprised that the cliche last minute rescue did not happen. I really thought they were going to come back and mow down all those walkers and save Morgan and say, okay, we heard your radio transmission, come on up. But nope, they did not come back for him at all. I mean, they did come back when they realized he gave them bad directions. But I'm not going to peg these two as villains or necessarily evil. I think they just might be a pair of characters who have been with each other for such a long time, and they don't really trust anybody but each other, and they're only looking out for themselves, despite that little show they put on. I mean, I thought it was a pretty cool idea and pretty generous of them to drive these trucks across the Southwest or across the country and just leaving supplies at random truck stops and gas stations. But looking back, that did seem a little bit too good to be true. So, I think another thing that might have affected my mood while watching this episode is that I felt bad for Morgan. I mean, this poor guy has his hands tied behind his back, and he's basically left off to fend for himself on top of a broken car, surrounded by a small herd of walkers, and nobody bats an eye. I mean, Wendell and Sarah didn't seem to give two shits about him, and Jim is clearly a very self-interested man. Again, not necessarily evil, just a very selfish man or a single-minded person. But they all left him. And I'm just like, Jesus, he doesn't even have his walking stick. He has nothing. And now he's left with, he did have the radio, but he's left with his hands bound behind his back on top of this car surrounded by walkers. I mean, I felt bad for Morgan. I felt really bad. I felt sad for him. I mean, I was just like, God, I can't believe how bad I'm feeling right now for this poor guy. I mean, he's left behind on a car, and, of course I was suspicious the directions he was giving them weren't accurate, but at the same time I'm like, they said they would help him if he told them where to go, but they just left him there. I was like, Jesus, that's depressing. I don't know. I mean, clearly I was pretty invested in that moment, but at the same time though, there was something, as much as I enjoyed meeting Sarah and Wendell, there was something about their backstory that was a little confusing. And maybe you guys can clarify for me, because maybe somebody caught it and I didn't catch it when it was first revealed. But I think it's revealed through dialogue that these two hijacked this truck from a trucker in Texas, left him on the side of the road. They didn't specify if they killed him or not, but they just left him on the side of the road, took his rig, and just started hightailing it for Mississippi or something like that, and to this truck stop where maybe this guy told them where all of these trucks were. I don't know. I kind of missed. It was a bit difficult to understand what exactly their backstory was once they were revealed to be liars, of course, saying that they weren't being good Samaritans, just driving around the country, leaving boxes of supplies off the side of the road. who knows who started that originally. And I was also confused because I could have sworn the woman Morgan was talking to on the radio sounded like Sarah, the actress Mo Collins who plays Sarah. I thought that was her. I thought that was the exact same voice. So I thought, oh, so they are good people after all, and they're just they're giving themselves purpose and meaning by driving boxes of supplies across the country. But clearly that wasn't the case. I'm not going to write these two off just yet because I'm really intrigued by their relationship and just who they are in general. So I'm really excited for what the next couple episodes are going to show us regarding Sarah and Wendell and their relationship. Hopefully we learn more about them, and hopefully they bond more with Morgan, and when they inevitably eventually meet the other characters as well. So that'll be exciting. Overall, though, pretty decent episode. It was a bit hard to watch because I just felt so bad for poor Morgan being abandoned like that. But then again, this episode did surprise me without the cliche last-minute rescue where he actually ended up saving himself, and he got a knife. He got a knife and cut his hands free, and he used a street sign, much like Sasha did back in season 4, and took those walkers down and just started walking. I hope he gets reunited with his walking stick. I was also very bummed that he was without his prized weapon. So. But I think now that he's back with the trucking pair and Jim, I think he'll get his walking stick back, hopefully. But overall, pretty good episode. Not as good as I was hoping it to be, although I think this was a bit more enjoyable for me than last week's episode, because I felt like there was a lot going on here, but I want to rewatch it again because I feel like I missed some important things that was revealed through dialogue by Sarah and Wendell regarding their backstory. So I'm going to have to rewatch it once this is available on demand. Well, guys, what did you think of tonight's episode? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Also, what was the deal with that creepy looking old woman at the end of the episode? Where was she the one Morgan was talking to on the radio? Is that the same woman, or is this some crazy scavenger who is now leaving a zombie behind with that message, take what you need, leave what you don't, or something? Who knows? But I think we might have met our new bad guy, or a possible bad guy. Hard to say. Anyway, feel free to sound off down below in the comments section of what you thought of tonight's episode. If you guys have answers to any of my any of my questions from earlier, please feel free to answer them down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love some feedback as well as some answers as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more episode reviews like this as we carry on with Morgan's journey on Season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead, with new episodes airing every Sunday night on AMC. Don't miss it. Have a great rest of the night, everybody. Thank you for watching, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.